Hey everyone. Sorry, I was having YouTube troubles. So, how are you? How was your week? How was your weekend? So what are we drinking today? I am drinking Stephen Smith, the Jasmine Silvertip tea. I have it in, actually, it's a mug you haven't seen yet. Let's see, it has a bee on it. This was a Christmas present from a colleague years ago. She had gotten it for the management team, so each one of us has a mug with our initial on it. So, yeah. And Bentley's right here. Say hi. I think Bentley might still be a little bit mad at me from this weekend. So, we had a fun weekend, or I did. He didn't because he was away from his mommy for 2 days. Well, at least for the day. He had me in the morning and in the evening. I was a volunteer coordinator for a tea festival we had on Saturday, which was a lot of fun. Um, so I did get to taste a lot of tea. Um, and then I got a vendor had actually given me a sample of her tea to take with me from helping, but we'll talk about that later. I think I have some ideas for tea. We might do a separate little thing for tea along because it's a lot of information. There's a lot of good properties and everything with tea. So we'll get into that a whole nother time. Um, so today we're going to talk about um, active music therapy. So, last week we talked about music therapy as far as like listening to music, like responsive music therapy, and how things that it can do when you're listening to it and how it can help in those manners. So today we're going to talk about active music therapy, which it involves active participation in music making, such as singing, playing instruments, or songwriting. Um, it addresses psychological and physical systems related to cancers and its treatments to be able to. So how does it work? Like how does it help the benefit? So you are directly involved in creating music. So sometimes if you work with a music therapist, someone who has actively studied in this and is able to be a music therapist versus a music teacher, so they do an individualized approach to the music therapist does an individualized approach to tailor to each person's specific need, preference, considering their physical abilities, emotional states, and musical background. So, for instance, if you ever play an instrument, you wouldn't just go out and start playing something like an organ. You start smaller with like a piano or a keyboard first, and then work your way up if you really wanted to play an organ. And so they do that. So they work with you with that. It also focuses on expression and connection. So it also addresses specific symptoms as well. So remember when I was talking with you about sound therapy and how different levels, different hertz do different aspects of your brain can help. So same thing with basically anything you do. So even with this music therapy, certain things that you listen to or certain things that you do gives you those endorphins, and it responds to people differently. So like if you get excited about something or if you're happy about something, it helps promote different aspects. And with that, and because your body subconsciously isn't stressed over things that are going on with you at that time, then it helps your body then in turn to your immune system then in turn to heal, to work on healing what it needs to. So it's not being an overdrive. So yes. What are the benefits? The benefits reduces stress and anxiety. It improves mood and emotional well-being. It enhances coping mechanisms. So it helps you deal with what you're going through, the different emotions that you have that with what you're going through. It increases a sense of control. Who doesn't like to feel like they're in control, especially when it comes to their health? Be able to, you don't want to feel helpless. You want to feel like you're doing something. And so a lot of the things that we talk about, the different activities, it makes you feel like you're actually doing something outside of just waiting to see whatever treatment path you're on is responding the way it should, or your cancer is responding to it the way it should. So it definitely makes you feel like you're in control and that you are doing something. It also improves communication and social connection, and it can help reduce negative feelings of isolation and negative feelings. So that's kind of the whole reason for this organization. Was I never wanted someone to feel isolated or literally sit at home by themselves and sit in their thoughts and create those negative thoughts. And I wanted them to be able to be around other people who understand what you're going through because they've been through it or they have caretake for someone who's gone through it. So they can be as close to understanding because they watch them go through it than other people can. So yes, so that's like one of the, to me, I feel like that's the most important thing is literally feeling, making you feel like that you're not isolated, you're not alone in this. So with that being said, I will say a few things that I would definitely recommend checking out that I enjoy watching. I can get caught up in watching. One is called Guitaro 5000. I think is the YouTube channel. It's also on Facebook. It's Guitaro 5000. The guy's name's Reggie, and he goes out on the streets and he's like, sing with me for free. And so he has this little sign up and the guy videoing and people are just walking down the street and he's having them sing with him. Now, this guy's awesome. He's played on a cruise ship and everything. He can literally, if he doesn't know the song, he can listen to it for a few seconds and then pick it up and play it for the person. So the person can sing. So it's really cool. So you can also look up like Sing With Me for Free with Reggie. So yeah, that's awesome. And just listening to those people sing, and the whole concept is like when they're done, he's like, now that you're singing, how do you feel? How does it make you feel? So it's creating those happy, endorphins, like it's creating that good feeling for you, making you feel good about yourself and making you feel good and just bringing a little bit of happiness and joy into people's life, even for that moment or for the day. And hopefully they have a good rest of the day after doing that with him. And it's really cool just, watching him, listening to different people. Like there's a lot of really good people that can sing. And he doesn't care if you can like carry a tune or not. That's not the point. The point is making you feel good. And is another form of active music therapy because you're singing and it's making you feel good. So yes, definitely check that out. And if you happen to be, I know he's in New York City a lot, but every now and then he'll take it out to another city, wherever he happens to be. So yeah, if you happen to be walking down the street and see him, do it. I mean, he definitely, I don't think he shows everything, but so what if he does? Like, it's the whole point is how it makes you feel in that moment and how it make you feel for the rest of the day. Another one I would definitely check out He's called Kodi Lee. Kodi with a K, Kodi, and then Lee. He's actually a blind and autistic musical prodigy. And yes, I don't use that term lightly. He's a singer, a pianist, a songwriter. He's known for his exceptional music abilities, pitch perfect, and passion for music. He was born with optic nerve um, hypoplastic, I believe that's how you pronounce it, which rendered him blind and diagnosed with autism at a young age. He was also on American's Got Talent. He won the Golden Buzzer, Simon's Golden Buzzer, and I think he won American's Got Talent. No, I don't watch American's Got Talent, but sometimes some of the most watched ones will pop up on Facebook or YouTube or something. And so that's actually how I was introduced to him. And when you would see him, like when he talks, he has a hard time talking and he's blind. His mom walks him out on the stage with his stick. But when he sits down and plays the piano, he is a completely different person. You would never know this is the same person that you literally were just talking to, or you literally just saw, and I say that, so I say in a sense of like music is his outlet. That's the way he can express himself. And he is a songwriter. He is amazing. He does cover bands and everything as well. He does a whole lot of different genres and everything. So he is amazing, but definitely check him out. If you don't do anything else, like it's Kodi and then Lee, Lee. To me, I feel like that's definitely one that shows you what music can do for you. It give you an out. Another one, speaking of American's Got Talent, is her name is Jane Kristen Marskowitz. I believe that's how it's pronounced. But she's also known as Nightbird. She wrote the song "It's Okay," which she actually sang on for her audition on American's Got Talent. Unfortunately, when she wrote that song because she had cancer. She had gotten breast cancer, went into remission. It came back, went into remission again, and then it had came back and it had come into her lungs, her liver, and her spine. And she had a 2% chance of survival rate. And her thing was the 2% was better than 0. And like I always said, my mom had a 7% chance for survival rate when she was originally diagnosed, and she fell in that 7% chance. So those percentages, like, they're there for a reason. They're there because somebody fell into them. Somebody created them because they survived. So there's always that little bit of hope that you could be one of those that falls in that percentage. You just got to fight for it. And so anyways, but just look up her story. It's amazing. You can do Nightbird. It's okay. It's a beautiful song. It's a great song. I think it's a song that we all should listen to, regardless of what we're going through, especially if you're having a hard time. Because everything is eventually going to be okay. It might not work out the way you want it to, but it's going to be okay. It worked out the way it should. Also to another one as far as like music therapy. Oh, I got so much. I told you music therapy is one of my favorite next to animal therapies. A good friend of mine who he was an architect. He was also a photographer, and he also played the drums. That was like his favorite thing to do. I think maybe he liked playing the drums more than he liked like photography and architect, and he loved photography and architect. But he fought for stage 4 metastatic urothelial carcinoma cancer for a year, and he spent that year playing the drums. It's actually on YouTube too, him playing the drums and working on, it helped. That's what helped him through, with his photography as well. Like, this is his family, his wife. He got to meet the love of his life, which is a really good thing. He met her later in life, but I'm glad he got to experience that. But then you have like songwriting. We'll get into writing therapy at some point as well. But like a lot of your artists now, like Taylor Swift does a lot of her, she writes all of her songs, and she writes about her life experiences. And to her, like, to do that, and of course, like, performing and all that, but I'm sure like that helps her to work through what she's going through, is writing in the music. She does that. Selena Gomez does that. I know a lot of like non-mainstream artists. There's one called Brandon James. He writes a lot about what's going on in the world and his feelings and with it, and he's really good as well. And then, so you have Brandon James, and you also have Matt White does the same thing. So there's a lot of like I call them non-mainstream artists, like that are really good, that do that. They have the artistic ability to write and compose their own music, and it's good. So those are a few things, ones you can definitely check out to kind of give you some inspiration. Write your own music if you want to. And then again, some of your major cities, your cancer institutes in major cities are becoming more open to these programs. As I said before, the research is becoming more available with the benefits of these things. And so the cancer institutes are starting to provide them. So definitely check out, like, if you live in a big city, to the Cancer Institute to see if they provide something like that. As always, like I said, sometimes there's a long waiting list in it. So if you get on it and able to do it, great, do that. If not, then get on the list, and there's other things you can do as well. You can go to a music store. You can if you want to, you can rent your own instrument and play. Or even some stores have where you can go in and play, or even rent a studio and play. I know it sounds like a lot, but I think there's still some open. The Guitaro stores, I call them Guitaro stores, but there's music stores, those big. It's like I can see the building, and then it's like a huge guitar on the outside. Sometimes like you can go in there and just play on the instruments, or even I think some of them had where you can rent out like studio space or whatever if you want to. If you don't, but I mean, if you don't have the money, don't put money into it unless that's something you just really want to do. But yes, or even there's like Guitar Hero on if you're a gamer, or you or your kids or your brother or family member or whatever has like a PlayStation or a gaming console. You can play Guitar Hero. Like, that's the same thing. Or even like singing karaoke. You can go out and sing karaoke. They even have that like karaoke on the thing. My husband and I were just watching The Big Bang Theory the other day in the hotel room, and they were doing karaoke. So yeah, you have that as well. And then of course, just like singing when you're by yourself, singing in the shower, singing in the car. I mean, how many times have you driven down the road and you see the person next to you just rocking out to a song, like head banging or banging on the steering wheel, or you can tell they're just singing their heart out. Like, yeah, it's all the same. You are actively participating in music therapy or active music therapy at that moment. So yes, go for it, do it. It's just a way to express yourself, get those feelings out. I've always said I'm a true believer in just, you all that emotion and stuff bottled up in you is not a good thing. So just take it and get it out somehow, whether it's dancing, whether it's listening to music, whether it's playing music, singing music. And I played the violin when I was young and I wanted to get back into it. So it's because it's just so rewarding. There's something about it, just listening to the music and playing it as you're, listening to it as you're playing and just getting into it and feeling it. It's, definitely, it's something I would look into, have fun with it. So yes, leave in a comment if there's ever been an instrument you've ever even want to try to play. Leave it in the comments. What instrument have you wanted to try to play? Or if you play an instrument, what instrument or instruments do you play? What kind of music do you play with those instruments? So yeah, definitely. Even if it doesn't even necessarily have to be music, or an instrument. Like if you want to be like a singer, songwriter, or something, like, definitely put that in the comments. What kind of music do you want to write about? What kind of music do you want to sing about? What helps you? So yes, definitely that in the comments and let me know. All right. Oh, I forgot to show you guys. So, I was talking about the tea festival. So we get these little cups, like, got these little cups. So you get these so you can go and, Jasmine Pearl was the main sponsor. So, or the golden sponsor, or the big sponsor. So you get these little cups so you can taste tea because they're brewing tea and everything. So you can taste the tea. So I got those and I got them from Bentley. So he now likes drinking out of the cup. It's a little ceramic cup. So he likes drinking his water out of the cup. And because we take him everywhere with us, so like when we go eat and stuff like that, so we take the cup and have the little cup to pour water in so he can drink out of the little cup. Because he prefers to drink out of cups than bowls, but he'll drink out the bowl. Anyways, all right, guys, sorry. One today, again, music therapy, a lot going on. Love music therapy. And definitely make sure you jam out somewhere, all right? And until next week, take care, and we'll see you under the willow tree.